taking chains off his own homies to hopping on live flexing the same pieces, Q50 really betrayed his whole brand. What started on the east side of Chicago turned him into one of the most feared jackboys in the game. Now whether it's hustlers in the trenches or industry rappers in VIP, everybody clutching they ice the second he steps in the spot. This is Bloodhound Q50, crashing out for 20 minutes straight. St. Louis stick-up. Bloodhound Q50's nationwide terror tour reached its peak when he touched down in St. Louis with what appeared to be just another show lined up, but ended with him robbing locals for a whopping $60,000 and then trolling the entire city afterward.
Long little chef in the air with a Drake. Ain't tryna eat dick at the fuck on my face. St. Louis still maps like 60K. Say smoking on storm, dead bitch got late. Fuck him now, let's talk about pay. Broke ass outlets, turn on my pay. Finna drive me some treasure, nigga. Shout out with some great. Before you fucking me, little bitch, fuck take.
Rumors say Q50 allegedly had a show booked in St. Louis, but what the promoters didn't realize was that instead of performing, he was plotting a major lick. Word from the streets say that the robbery went down with members of a St. Louis crew called 1448, who according to Rambo, were set up thinking they were buying drugs, only to get served soap instead. They were real sure he had said the buyers thought they were buying dope, but he sold them some soap. Other rumors floated that Q50 had taken show money without performing. The crazy part is, after allegedly pulling off that lick, Q50 ain't even chill out. He went harder and dropped a track called 60K. On it, he straight up bragged about snatching the money out in St. Louis, basically putting the whole move on wax and confirming what went down through his own bars. As he said on the track,
St. Louis still mad, I took 60K.
"Them niggas in St. Louis still mad I took 60,000. That disrespect lit a fire in St. Louis, and it didn't take long for local rappers like CTS Lil Wick to start pressing Q50. Wick came back swinging with a diss over the game's One Blood beat, spitting lines like,
"I really get through every gap, make your Q50 rap. Go post up in the rack, I catch Bloodhound, go get his little ass crack.
I really get through every gap, make your Q50 rap. Catch a bloodhound. Catch a bloodhound, he gon' get his little cracked." He didn't stop there either. He clowned Q50's well-known habit of sniffing perks. Rap
50 sniff perks off the car, I got 100 in my AR.
Whipping 50 sniff perks off the car, I got 100 in my AR, turning Q50's vice into another weapon in the beef. The fallout allegedly turned serious when Q50 touched back down in St. Louis. Word on the streets was that his car got lit up in a retaliatory attempt, though no official news outlets ever confirmed it. Still, St. Louis rapper Mo P pretty much co-signed that something went down, hinting Q50 barely dodged. Mo P broke it down like this: "If everybody says your whip got sprayed and even flipped, and you just pop out acting like nothing happened, that ain't gangster. You can't brush that off without losing face." So the talk only made it seem more real. Reddit threads from people in St. Louis backed up that the tension wasn't just internet chatter, it was real. Locals were saying things like, "I wonder how much longer he's gonna be able to keep this up before it goes left." Others weren't shy about calling the whole situation embarrassing, with one comment reading, "They such attention whores." Q50's reaction? He doubled down. Instead of cooling off, he went live on Instagram to throw even more shots at St. Louis, bragging that he had spanked that 60K and making it clear he had no regrets. He even hinted at spinning back through the city, basically daring anyone to test him. By clowning a whole city, flaunting a robbery, and threatening to pop out again, Q50 stamped himself as someone who doesn't just cross the line, he wipes the line out completely. Big Champ's chain gone.
Hey, Champ, go to this Heroes. I go to Heroes after him. What you gonna feel some type of way towards them? You know what I'm saying? That's their job. Chaz better be cool, you know what I'm saying? Better deal with it. Just like you deal with everything else. Deal with that shit. Chalk it up. You're a man, be a man. You know what I'm saying?
Well, Q50 has spoken.
The deepest cut in Chicago's drill scene didn't come from an op. It came from inside the circle. Big Champ, tied to O Block through his cousin Big A, built what looked like a real brotherhood with Q50. They were side by side everywhere. Vlogs, music videos, kicking it on camera, moving like genuine day one friends. Champ had a reputation for shining heavy, rocking a diamond AP and thick chains that showed he was touching serious money. What made the betrayal so raw was that Champ trusted Q50 enough to flex his pieces around him, never thinking twice about security because he believed their bond was solid. But the setup unfolded like a scene out of a movie. What started as another regular day hanging out turned into a backdoor play. Rumors say Q50 caught Champ lacking and snatched both the chain and the AP, and instead of laying low with it, Q50 took the disrespect further. Rumors say he jumped straight on Instagram Live flaunting Champ's exact jewelry. No cover-up, no sneaky moves, just bold, reckless, and broadcast for everybody to see. During the stream, Q50 spoke directly to Big Champ, saying it was his first time seeing and meeting him, that Big Champ had sat with him for an hour talking about all kinds of goofy stuff he hadn't wanted to hear. He revealed his true mindset, saying Big Champ had thought he was going to take his side, but he had just gone along with it. He added that he had real love for him, had protected him, and had always made sure he was good whenever he came around. The coldest part came after the stain, when Q50 ain't just flexed the take, but turned it into straight disrespect. On Live, he clowned Champ, told him to go get another one while calling him broke. He cut deeper, saying he knew the boy personally, talking about his was hurting. Q50 ain't show no remorse. He doubled down, saying Champ has been soft since day one. He said Champ used to pull up trying to show off like that was gonna earn respect, but it never did. In Q50's eyes, bro was goofy, and he made sure the whole net knew it. The ice Q50 was showing ain't no look-alike. Same exact chain, same AP Champ been posting. No denials, no cap. Everybody knew what went down. The embarrassment hit so hard, Champ had to kill his comments on all socials, ducking the memes and clowning flooding his name. Even O-Block's own E-Dog had to cut him off, posting that O-Block members don't get robbed, basically stripping Champ of his rep and disowning him from the set. Overnight, he went from flexing baller to a backdoored victim left exposed. Champ's name, once tied to shine and status, got stained for good, his rep sitting in the dirt. When DJU interviewed Q50 about the situation months later and directly asked what about the chain people had been seeing around his neck, Q50 doubled down on the disrespect, claiming that Champ had just let him put it on, that he still had it, and that Champ had basically let him keep it, saying it was time for a new kid. Vonoff 1700 gets the boot.
Go. When I killed that nigga, I was fresh as shit. I'm reading my pants and lacing my kicks. Fuck IG, I ain't post no pics. Leave no view with drinks and switches. Slip my little niggas falling and tripping. Got the ass for the reason they fake.
Q50's tendency to crash out doesn't just involve robberies. It also extends to how he handles relationships with other artists. His tension with rapper Vonoff 1700 showcases how quickly he can flip on someone who's supposedly in his circle. What started as friendly collaboration between two rising Chicago drill stars deteriorated into public humiliation that nearly turned violent. According to The Street, during a trip to what was supposedly one of the wealthiest zip codes in America, Q50 and Vonoff 1700 found themselves on what they later discovered was Jeffrey Island, a private island where they clearly didn't belong. As tensions rose with security, Q50 began calling out Von, exposing him for claiming to be from Chicago's trenches while allegedly being from the western suburbs. Q50 mocked Von by questioning how he could claim to be from the trenches if he was from the west suburbs. When asked which specific part of Chicago he was from, Von stumbled and said that he had moved out. Q50 kept pressing, asking what part of the trenches he had moved from. Von couldn't give a straight answer about his background, and Q50 pounced on it, exposing him by saying he was from the west and really out the suburbs. That public hit to Von's street cred sparked instant tension. Q50 pressed it further by refusing to even hold Von's belongings, telling him straight up he wasn't his man and he needed to carry his own bag. Things heated up even more when Von flipped it back on Q50, accusing him of making a female uncomfortable. Von claimed she was in the room with her chest out, pulled her top back on, and backed away because Q50 was trying to push up when she wasn't interested. That had Q50 on the defensive, saying Von was just trolling. But by then, what started out as playful back and forth had turned into real hostility, with both of them questioning each other's authenticity and character on camera for the world to see. The crash-out moment came when the two took it too far, stealing a golf cart from island residents. Security pulled up demanding they drop it, but instead of calming down, it escalated. They crashed out so bad the island kicked them off, with security calling the boys after word spread the two might be strapped. That's when the trust folded. Q50 and Von started pointing fingers, each one saying the other was the one who told security. Moolah Mitch gets his chain snatch.
Look, bro, I'm only 20, can't nobody tell me shit. Hey, all that shit free, buddy?
All this shit. I ain't lying. This right here, big bro, this Bibby gave me this bitch. This 60K. This big bro swears this 50. But this right here, I know what that bitch, so many fucking things. This bitch free. This bitch, y'all know this.
Hey, when you got that one right there?
What that was, like 30 minutes ago? What's up, bro? Alright.
Free, man. Everything free.
I'm only 20, can't nobody tell me shit.
Hey, all that shit free, buddy?
What's up, bro?
Q50's chain snatching spree wasn't confined to Chicago's city limits. He took his operation nationwide, setting his sights on victims in Miami. The most brazen of these out-of-town robberies involved Miami rapper Moolah Mitch and showed just how calculated Q50's predatory behavior had become. According to the streets, before arriving in Miami, Q50 was literally praying for opportunities to rob people. This wasn't an opportunistic crime. It was premeditated hunting. When Q50 touched down in Miami, Moolah Mitch saw a chance to connect with a buzzing Chicago artist who might help elevate his career. They arranged what Mitch believed would be a legitimate studio session, a standard networking opportunity in the industry. What happened instead shocked even the most street-hardened observers. Not long after the session, Q50 went live on social media flaunting Mitch's jewelry. They crashed out so badly that the island kicked them off, after security called the boys when word spread that the two might be armed. That was when the trust collapsed, with Q50 and Von pointing fingers at each other, each claiming the other was the one who had told security. Q50 ain't no Mitch was that plugged in down in Miami. Word spread quickly through the Florida streets, big threats, talk that there was bread on his head. Turns out the dudes he robbed weren't no regulars. They were heavy hitters with real paper and pull. The message came loud and clear. If Q50 or any Bloodhound touches Florida again, it's up. By lining Mitch, Q50 basically got himself and his whole squad banned from one of the biggest money spots in the game. One Reddit comment read, "How do these niggas not show up ready for Q50? One no diddy. Ain't no way you get robbed by a nigga who is known for meeting up with people to rob them." TMC Bretto beatdown. Beyond the high-profile robberies of industry figures, Q50's most disturbing pattern involved targeting people who desperately wanted to be accepted in his circle. TMC Bretto, a guy from Chicago's 6300 area, became a textbook example of how Q50 preys on those seeking approval. According to Street Chatter, Bretto persistently tried to hang around Q50 and Lil Jeff, always seeking opportunities to prove he belonged. He would hit them up constantly, trying to kick it and get close to their circle. Q50 and Jeff, however, saw right through him. In their eyes, Bretto was what they called a goofy, someone trying too hard to fit in, and consequently, an easy mark for exploitation. The setup was deceptively simple. Bretto hit up Q50, asking to purchase some lean, specifically what's known on the streets as a line of green, a cheaper version of the more expensive purple codeine mixture. Q50 recognized an opportunity and invited him over. Bretto pulled up thinking it was just a normal play, brought his girl with him, rocking 2 icy watches that instantly caught Q50's eye. But instead of making the lean deal, Q50 and Lil Jeff flipped the script, beat down both Bretto and his girl, pistol whipped them, snatched the bread and stripped the watches. The wildest part? They ain't even keep it low. Q50 and Jeff hopped straight on IG Live after, laughing with still on the pieces, clowning Bretto, saying they'd expose him, calling him names, even dissing his girl. They joked like it was funny, pointing at his face, talking crazy about what type of wife he had. People who saw the scene said there was watch. Proof Bretto ain't just handed it over, he tried to stand up but got outnumbered. That stain on the jewelry showed just how grimy the lick was. Then the fallout came quickly. TMC Slide, Bretto's homie, tried to ride for him. They jumped on live together with Bretto calling Q50 and the Bloodhounds broke for having to rob him, while Slide flexed stacks to prove they were really eating. But that little stunt? It set Slide up for a deadly payback just days later. Karma catches up. They say the streets always spin back, and for somebody like Q50, who built his whole name off lining folks up and stripping them, it was only a matter of time. After snatching dozens of chains and robbing his own homies, Karma finally doubled back. And this time, he was the one getting lined. An ESD member out of Chicago had been watching Q50's streak, and instead of playing cool, he flipped the script. No fake friendship, no setup, just raw street justice. He caught Q50 lacking, took his icy watch, and just like Q50 always did, threw it right on social media. Suddenly, the predator looked like prey. Screenshots started flying, messages of Q50 begging, spazzing, desperate to get his piece back. The same dude who laughed at his victims was now the one crying foul, but instead of eating the L, Q50 thought he could press back. He slid to the ESD block, thinking his name carried enough weight to scare them into returning it. Wrong move. As soon as he pulled up, reports say the block lit his car up with Q50 barely made it out, fleeing while his watch stayed on another man's wrist. The guy who built his image off taking other people's shine was now running for his life because somebody finally took his. A Reddit user commented on the situation. NGL, they fumbled if they really did catch him and only got a stolen watch out off him. Another added, what goes around comes around. IFW Q50, but take your lick. Bro made his name off of taking shit. Even after getting stripped and almost smoked, Q50 ain't learned a thing. Instead of laying low, he doubled right back into the same cycle that's been crashing him out since the start. His new drops are still full of flexes about the licks he hit, the chains he snatched, the ops he pressed. On socials, he stays trolling, throwing shots, daring anybody to test his gangsta. It's like the lesson ain't even hit. Q50 too deep in the chaos to slow down, stuck in the same reckless patterns that built his name and keep dragging him closer to the edge. Mental health struggle.
Are you ready?
Point the camera. Hey, bro, point the camera at me. Why would you put the camera at him, bro? He told me to.
Go for it, man. Bro.
Behind all that tough talk and cold moves, sometimes Q50 slips and shows the cracks. Every now and then you catch a glimpse of bro fighting real demons. Mental health messed up, lean and pills running his system, trauma eating at him. On a rare live, he even admitted he hooked on scripts heavy, and the whole way he was living got his head twisted. It was one of the few times he dropped the mask and let folks see the toll this street life really took on him.
Like Barack Obama? How about that? Like Barack Obama? What? I'm Q50. I act like me. Yeah. And that right there just got out. Every single that ever bring up drugs affecting me, I'm out there right here. All right, bye. Because I'm out there right here. Any single female that try to say I act any type of way because of drugs, on my right hand of Jesus Christ, drugs, I act the same way with or without drugs. Only difference is
that confession peeled back the mask on Q50. All the calculated robberies, all the public clowning. It ain't just for clout. Behind it is a young dude clearly scarred, numbing himself with substances just to deal with the pain. Losing close homies like Lil Jeff and Z-Money hit him harder than he lets on, and when he mentioned it on that stream, it showed that a lot of his reckless moves traced back to that trauma. His perk addiction turned into part of his whole identity, so much that ops stay using it as ammo. Rappers clown him in disses back to back, making it clear everybody knows what time it is. CTS Lil Wick ain't hold back either. He be having perk attacks and 50 snort perks off a car. This pattern of substance abuse appears throughout Q50's public appearances, with videos showing him snorting pills during streams and interviews. When DJ U pressed Q50 about God and faith, he couldn't even spit out a straight answer. He said he wasn't sure where he stood, admitted he'd never stepped foot in church growing up, and basically showed he ain't got no moral compass guiding him. What really shook people was when a fan commented hoping Lil Jeff and Z-Money made it to heaven. Q50 cut that down cold, saying neither of them did, and when his time came, he wouldn't either. That fatalistic mindset painted a picture of somebody who already accepted he's on a crash-out path, past the point of redemption. Violence is both his shield and his drug. He raps about flashbacks like he battling demons, maybe PTSD from all the dirt he's seen or done. But instead of seeking help, he doubles down, feeding the same cycle that's breaking him. And even when he talks about dropping more personal, pain-driven tracks, he never sticks with it. He always runs right back to the drill persona, proving he can't fully step out of that violent mask. If you like this video, click one of the windows on either side to watch a video similar to this one.